Hello.
Hello,
Let
how
me
are
adjust
you?
my
Uh,
speakers a little bit. Hello.
hello,
Okay.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a little low, but I can hear you.
I wonder if
Let's.
that's me. Oh, oh wow, they have changed a ton of stuff in the. I just updated to the new version, and there is a lot of stuff changed. And it looks like I am at full volume. So,
Hello.
hello?
That's better. I increased my volume on this end. Am I too loud for you or not or what?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
Um, but it does look like, I mean, they have changed all kinds of stuff. We can play video clips
Oh yeah.
right in the meeting now. I'm not real sure how that works. Zoom clips during a meeting. I don't know what that means. Okay.
It would be clips from old Zoom meetings, I would guess. Don't know.
Me either. I'm not in charge. I'm just here. So, and I've got a whole new menu that says host tools and a whole new menu for AI companion. And they've rearranged stuff. It's not exactly where it used to be.
Okay, I haven't upgraded for probably a couple of months at this point.
You probably don't need to.
Well, in the recent past, when I've upgraded, things didn't work too well, so I just stopped doing upgrades
Right. Right.
for a while just to see if things settle down a little bit. So
Yeah. Well, I'm one. I upgrade all kinds of stuff that I probably should just leave alone. You know.
yeah, yeah,
And so I'm constantly running the latest version of something, which may or may not be a good thing because a lot of the latest versions have bugs in them that nobody's caught. But
yeah. Well, you have to. I generally wait, particularly when I was running Windows. I would always wait until the upgrade had been a couple of months old before I installed it. But with Linux, generally, I tend to keep things pretty up to date. But given my recent experience with Zoom, I had stopped doing that a couple of months ago. And
yeah, well, I need to get back into the if it's not broken, don't fix it kind
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, there's an argument for that, that's for sure.
But I do. I used to have just one machine set up that all it was everything was the latest, everything on it, and it had all kinds of issues. I mean, some of them got fixed, some of them didn't.
That
But
was running Mint or that was running something
I
earlier.
I think that I think probably when I had that set up, I probably was doing Ubuntu.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm sure it was Ubuntu because Ubuntu was doing those rolling releases like Debian did.
Yeah.
So you got all you could change your repositories to get on the um daily daily drivers or what daily updates, not the stable updates.
Yeah.
And I did that, and that was the most janky machine I had ran.
Okay. All right.
But with Mint, they don't. Mint really doesn't do the rolling release. I guess you can change the repositories and to a different tree, but they really don't do the rolling release like Ubuntu was definitely it was advertised. It go and try the latest. Just change your
Yeah.
repositories. So,
Well, I still tend to keep the individual apps up to date. So Mike's coming through.
yep, supposedly.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to be here, but I don't see myself.
I don't see you either.
We don't. I don't see it at all. I see a black screen.
Oh, Julie put the cat down on the camera. That explains a lot.
Oh, you had a plastic cap over the lens on the camera?
Yeah, I look up and I've got the indicator light that the camera is plugged in, and then there's a green light to indicate that the camera is active. And I didn't realize the cap was folded down. Yeah,
Yep, that would do it.
I must be part of the French police security apparatus at the Louvre.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a little egg on their face these days.
Just a
So
little.
far they haven't tracked anybody down, or at least as of the news release the first thing this morning.
Well, I'm of the opinion that you'd be able to spot these guys because they're walking around with their balls in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, they certainly put on a performance, I must say. Right while the visitors stuff was active and so forth and so on. I mean, this is, you would think with the expensive stuff that's in the Louvre that they would have a better security system than that.
Yeah.
Uh, Security by obscurity.
Yeah, they just,
Very, very obscurity.
There was a exhibit of Rembrandt's at the Kansas City Nelson Atkins Museum, and we went to visit it when we were there in Kansas City. And the guards were particularly protective. I was standing too close and had to back up 6 inches.
Mm, yeah, got to watch that 6 inches.
Yeah. Well,
well,
it
they
wasn't
don't
like
want
I
you.
was putting my finger on the painting and saying, "Look at that."
Yeah. So were they local talent guards or were they from the Louvre?
The painting that we saw was in Kansas City, and I don't have any idea. I'm presuming the guards there at the museum were local as opposed to imported from France.
Okay.
Yeah. We were in the East Wing. No, not the East Wing. We were in the National Gallery in Washington, and a woman backed up and bumped one of the paintings, and it set off every alarm you can imagine. The guard was standing right next to her, and he wasn't armed or anything, but he whipped around just to see what was going on, and then the room was flooded with people. And it was just a simple thing where she was standing too close and her purse bumped the frame or something along those lines. It wasn't an active, intentional act. But if the the paintings there are all alarmed, I can't imagine that this incredible collection of jewelry didn't have more than a crackerjack.
Well, my guess is that it had to be an inside job because it went off too smoothly. I think it had somebody had on the inside had to be involved.
Incredible. Well, they're still missing paintings from the Gardner Museum. That was what, 25 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking the the Sea of Galilee was one of the ones that was taken. That was just you can't do anything with that painting. You can put it in your private collection, but you'd never be able to sell it or anything else with it.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes heists like that kind of interesting anyway. You're not going to sell them on the open market. You might be able to sell them to some black market things, but
Well, on the
they're
other
going to know
hand,
where it came from. I mean, somebody,
on the other hand, there are people who have private collections that just keep them for themselves so they can stare at them or whatever they do.
yeah.
I mean, I think didn't Howard Hughes have a whole bunch of stuff with, or who was the guy that was um, the guy that had the newspaper maggot from back
First,
in the Hearst, yes, Hearst Castle, and he had a whole bunch of he had a closed collection that only he and selected guests could look at.
well, that's the thing about the Gardner theft is the thieves aren't going to take it and then discount it at the five and dime. They're going to want to get the value of the painting. And I just wonder how many people would be wealthy enough to have that much money and be willing to undertake the negotiation with the crooks.
Well, there's a lot of people out there that have boku bucks, so you never can tell.
Well, how much money are we talking about?
Several hundred million, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of billionaires,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
a
But
few hundred million wouldn't mean much to them.
you'd have to be willing to deal with somebody who's inherently dangerous.
Well, you right. That's kind of what I mean. They won't just be able to sell any part of that collection at on an open market or at an auction or anything, they would have to be dealing with the underground
Yeah.
in
But
order.
the potential buyer would have to be putting themselves at risk it unless they had I don't know platoon of guerrillas working for them.
Well, unless the potential buyer was also the person that hired the people that took care of lifting the product out of the market or out of the museum,
Yeah.
which could happen, I suppose.
Well, let's face it. I mean, there are more than a few unethical billionaires out there.
Yeah.
You can make a fairly long list of them,
Mm.
not to get political.
Yeah. Well, I can think of a few. Not to get political.
Yeah, but starting with the political people,
Uh,
it makes a starting point very easy.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you start adding politics in there and the group grows a little bit larger.
I saw something on the internet. I don't know whether it was today or whether it was yesterday. They were talking about wealthy people that were in politics and the value of their assets. And then they went into people that were running for office and their value. And Ross Perot is the name that came up on the list. And John Kerry.
Okay.
Well, Ross Perot is pushing up daisies these days.
Well, it wasn't the last election, although if you listen to certain people, they're going to convince you. Cokie Roberts was a commentator on NPR, and she grew up in Louisiana. Her father was a senator, and she said, "Well, we bury our dead above ground in Louisiana, so it's easier for them to get to the polls."
Okay.
So if you can vote for somebody while you're dead, I suppose you could elect someone who already is dead.
Well,
I could think of a few politicians that are dead. I I mean, they're living dead. They're zombie dead.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Brain dead doesn't necessarily count.
Oh, wrong kind of dead. Uh, um, um,
The sunlight was hitting the lens on the camera.
Yeah, it was washing out your image.
Yep.
yeah.
I
So,
So,
suppose.
what kind of weather are you guys having out there?
I'm sorry.
What kind of weather are you having there?
It was like 54 degrees, and I get cold. So I'm out in the garage wearing a stocking cap and a coat. Uh, it wasn't comfortable to be outside, even in the sunlight.
I'm sitting in the house wrapped in a blanket.
Oh,
It's
really?
yes. I'm not I'm currently not cold, but the sun has come on my side of the computer room side. So the sun's actually coming in the window right now. But as soon as it about an hour it'll go away and I will start to be cold. And for whatever reason, our heat has only come on twice today, which is kind of interesting. So the thermostat says that it's like 70 in here, and I say, no, it's not.
Okay.
Now, do you have gas forced air?
Yes.
Okay. We have, this home has never had access to natural gas. And so we've always had a heat pump, which if you get cold, there is no place to get warm. You go
Okay.
stand at the register and the temperature of the air may be a few degrees warmer than ambient, but because it's coming out with some force and velocity, it's blowing on you, and you're colder standing in front of the heat register than you're anyplace else. It's a very uncomfortable heat.
My my mom just had some heat pumps put in her place. Um, somebody I'm not real sure how it happened. Somebody convinced her that it was a good deal, and for years, her furnace never worked. So she was running electric heat. So overall, I am sure she's going to save money with the heat pump because the electric heat can't be cheap to run. Not when you're running 20 heaters and blowing circuits every few minutes because the heaters are drawing more current than they need. But she put two heat pumps in and she had them put in while we were still getting 80-degree weather. And she said it was really, really nice and cold in the house. But then the temperature dropped and she flipped it over to heat and she said it was blowing cold air. Like, oh, okay. So I guess the guy that installed the heat pumps came back to look because everybody kind of said, well, it you're probably not going to feel the air or feel the hot, but it shouldn't be getting colder in there either. So
Well, you're talking about the expense of having uh, resistance electric heating. You have to count in the cost of the governor for the meter
yeah.
so it doesn't self-destruct.
When I we have lived in I want to say four, maybe five mobile homes. Mom lives in a mobile home. And when I lived in them, the it was definitely 100% cheaper to heat by electric than it was to get the propane gas or the whatever that gas is that they deliver to the places. Um, I mean, it was significantly less. But when we've moved here, the gas is, I mean, it's reasonably priced, but it's quite a bit more than what I would want of would have wanted to pay if I didn't have it. Um, so we're not hurting, but we've they use the gas for the water heater and gas for the furnace.
Now, is this natural gas?
Yeah, yeah, and it's reasonable. We don't use enough water to have the water heater run all the time. It we only really notice a big difference during the winter, when the thing is running, and I try to leave it set around 70 because that should be good enough. I mean, it's 30 outside, so 70 should be nice. But this place is drafty too. We put plastic up every year and it's still drafty. You could feel the draft just rolling through the house.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do you have double glazed windows?
No. And good luck getting the apartment to put those in for us.
Well, when they build new ones now, they're pretty much required by code to put in double glaze. How old is this apartment?
Well, I am 54 and it's been here every bit as long as I've been alive. So
Oh, so this is an old apartment house. Okay.
I would say it's been here probably 60 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. Yeah, I am sure that, the one building that burnt down, um I am sure they are building it to modern code and modern standards, and probably having baffles in the attic space to keep the fire from spreading like it did and all that other fun stuff.
This is an apartment house in the same complex you're in?
Yeah, well, you remember a year and a half, 2 years ago, we had that big apartment fire. 8 units disappeared. They finally got around to rebuilding, and they're still building, but um, there's all kinds of crazy rumors floating around that the they're going to start moving people out of their apartments and into the new apartments and tear down the old apartments and rebuild them. And I'm like, no, they're not. There's no way they're doing that. Now, we might get lucky. They might come along and put new windows in for us or something like that, but there is no way they're going through the expense of moving 400 customers just to move them all back into the apartments that they're in.
Well, and you're paying for it, so uh, it would probably be a significant increase in the rent.
At least. So yeah, I love just going outside, talking to neighbors and whatever, and just hearing all the crazy rumors that people come up with. It's it it's nuts. Oh, and the new apartments are going to be so nice that they want everybody to have a new apartment. No, they don't. They don't care. What they want is our money.
Yeah.
As
So,
I'm sure the new apartments will be very nice. They'll be up to 2025 standards. So I'm sure they will be very nice, but they're not going to fix our apartments.
well, I guess it was about 4 or 5 years ago. Julie and I helped my daughter buy a house. And I looked at it and it was one of those things where I said, you don't want this house. But that's the house she wanted. So it's like everything that you could imagine that needed to be done. I got up in the attic and started looking around at the insulation and stuff, and it was a combination of bats and blown in stuff, and it settled down to where there was hardly anything. And fortunately, My neighbor across the street works for a precast concrete company, and they buy uh, rigid foam insulation by the truckload, train load, and they have to buy more than they need, anticipating that there's going to be a, a lot of damage in it. And they had a mountain of 4-inch, 4x8 R25 insulation. And he was able to get me enough insulation to cover her ceiling in the attic with 2 layers. And that made a world of difference in her house.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I'm sure that I mean, I'm on the top floor and I've got attic space, and if I open the closet door where the attic is, you could definitely feel the cold. I mean, it's there. Um, if the closet door is closed, it's not so bad. But I'm sure that, this new building that they're building is going to be much better.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
it's going to be new. It's going to have new insulation in it and all the modern stuff. And I'll almost guarantee that the way that that building burnt and caught fire and burnt to the ground, there were no firewalls in the attic,
no
which,
fire stops or anything like that.
yeah, which I know, you know, that has to be done. They have to put firewalls in now. So, um, I doubt they ever try to fix these buildings the way they should be fixed and bring them up to any kind of modern code. But I mean, they're fine. There's nothing majorly wrong with them. They're just old.
Yeah, they were built to current standards 60 years ago.
Yeah. And hopefully, you know, none of my neighbors are idiots and put a candle on the floor and burn the house down. So,
Our house caught, this house that I'm in right now caught fire in 2007. Uh, about 3 layers back from the face bricks on the fireplace, there was a crack that allowed gases from the firebox to get into the space above the fireplace. And we hadn't had a fire for like 3 weeks. We'd been up in Cleveland and had gone other places. And one morning we awoke and Julie said, I smell something. So I went downstairs and looked around and I couldn't see anything. Came back, got my glasses, went down again and started moving the stuff on the mantle. And there was a scorch mark about the size of the palm of my hand on the wallpaper. So I came back in and told Julie and her son, get up, get out. And I called 911 and started clearing the electronics from both sides of the fireplace and everything off of the fireplace. And the fire department was here before I finished doing that. And it happened to be people I had worked with AK for Sarah 311, 312 hazardous materials. So they let me stay in the house, came in, covered everything with tarp, covered the sofa, opened the windows, put fans in all the windows, came in with a small diameter fire hose, took the thermal gun, checked the basement, first floor, second floor, attic. And in fact, the fire had gotten between the masonry chimney and the uh, sheathing on the outside of the house. So right where I'm standing or sitting now, uh, there's an exterior masonry chimney. And they had to cut the siding off of the house with a chainsaw so they could squirt water back between the sheathing of the house and the chimney. And the one firefighter turns to the other and says, I think we need to open up that wall. And they turned to me and said, what do you think? And it's like, I don't know anything about house fires. Do whatever you need to do. So they're standing there with the hose at the ready and took a pike and went through the drywall. And when they did, fire jumped out of that hole about 18 inches into the room. And that's the first time the smoke detectors went off. And then they stuck the hose in there and put the fire out and proceeded to pull the drywall off to find the extent of the fire. And that extent was all the way up the fireplace, out left and right, to the extent where they had cut the siding off and were trying to fight the fire that was between the masonry chimney and the sheathing. We could look, there was no wall on both sides of the fireplace. And the ceiling was peeled back about 6-7 feet into the living room. And the room I'm in now, the carpet and up the wall was involved in the fire. They indicated that if this had been balloon framing like is normal across the town, the house would have been gone before they ever arrived. And I'm thinking, we'd been 3 weeks since we had a fire. The only thing that kept us from being a total loss to the house was the fire blocking that the builder had put in. There were 2x6s that were framing around the fireplace. And I have photos where one of the 2x6s, one end of it is gone completely, and the other end is solid. So it's triangular shape. All of the 2x4 had oxidized and vaporized. It went away as carbon dioxide because it wasn't charred ash or anything.
Wow.
It was an amazing thing. When we rebuilt, I put in metal studs and ceramic refractory. It's like you could cook steel in there and not have to worry about it catching on fire.
So did your insurance cover that?
Yes, they did. And the city of Middletown sent me a bill for the firefighters, and the insurance company laughed and said, no, that's why they pay taxes. So let them deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance paid for it. We took on the job of rebuilding to cover the deductible portion. So we built back with metal studs, ceramic refractory, and I don't think we use anything special in terms of drywall. But the fireplace had to be, all the facade had to be torn down to get back to where the leak had occurred. The mason that came in, kind of a funny story. He said, I'm not in Middletown very often. My daughter and grandson are here in Middletown. Do you mind if they come over and visit with me while I'm doing this work? And I said, no, that's fine. He's telling me about a job he had been on where he had laid up all of the brick, and the homeowners came by, potential homeowners, and said, that's the wrong brick. And he got the prime contractor came over and said, oh, yeah, that's the same, it's the wrong brick. So he had to tear it all down. They delivered another set of brick, and he was just about done with that. And the homeowners came by and said, that's still a wrong brick. So he had to tear it down again. So with that in mind, his daughter's sitting on the sofa. I've given some toys to his grandson. He's sitting on the rug playing with them. And the mason is just about finished with the fireplace. I know it's going to be covered up, so I just bought the cheapest brick I could, bulk. And as he's putting the last brick in, I turned to him and said, I don't like that brick. I think you ought to tear it down. And his daughter gave me the dirtiest look. It was like she was just absolutely, but he recalled that it was the wrong brick story. He just kind of chuckled about it.
I think you're using the wrong brick there, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah. Um, well, I
Hey,
could wait.
Steve,
I could wait a
Yeah,
few more minutes. It's Steve.
what's up
greetings.
with you?
Nothing. I rare anymore that there's anything going on. I got a new camera.
Okay.
Oh,
Huh?
Teeny tiny little borescope.
Wow.
It's 640 by 480, but if you need to look inside of it, I think this is actually smaller than a BB. It'll definitely go down to 22 though. So,
So this is like a bore scope?
yep. Yeah, I think it was like $6. I don't know. USB-C, and it's got an inline uh, variable resistor to change light level, and a little tiny push button that in theory makes it take a picture, but I've never been able to get that to work. And the fun thing, it works on my phone as well, but Linux definitely sees it. And I've used it with my phone. So interesting toy, but it's definitely a toy. It came with a little 45-degree mirror so it can look sideways. And something else? A hook and a magnet so you can pick things up out of the bottom of a drain pipe or something if it's metal. No, steel. Um, and I've been playing with these things a good bit lately. The little Wise 3040 diskless workstations. These are surprisingly usable as long as you don't need more than 8 gigs of space. But you can hang a drive off of the USB ports and it's reasonably quick.
So you can run any operating system you want to on there?
Um, I mean, within reason, got to fit in 8 gigs. You could probably install the USB on it. I don't know. Haven't tried that. I'll give that a try. But they're these are available on eBay, and they're getting pretty cheap. And honestly, there's nothing in here that moves. They don't even have a fan. There's they're a relatively old processor, an Atom.
Yeah.
So I figure they'll definitely outlive the battery for the time clock, and you can replace that. So there's no reason these things shouldn't last a long time. And if you're using them to access some other system, they should last quite a while.
Well, that's
And you
that's
can run Tailscale on them, so wherever it is, it can connect into your VPN and see whatever it needs to see.
yeah, that's more or less what they are. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, they were built at their, I mean, they're Wise slash Dell 3040s. They were originally made by Wise, and Wise does diskless workstations. A place I'd like to see if I can get them to work, but I need time to play, is in LTSP, the Linux Terminal Server project.
there's there's mine in the car,
Cool.
wrapped in.
That's a lot of tape.
Yeah, well, it's not ideal, but I velcroed the speakers, which are they're not noisy enough. They need to be louder, but it works. They're basically just sitting in the center console.
You reminded me of something, Steve. You may recall about 3 or 4 months ago, I published a series of videos about what was happening on my downstairs system where the video drivers would start circling and switching uh, the display between 3 different monitors. And that once it started, I could not get it to stop. And that it was initiated if I clicked on something like a music video on Spotify. That would initiate it. And Steve had recommended a series of keystrokes to reset the video drivers,
Yeah.
and that didn't help. Well, I discovered it wasn't hardware related. It's occurring because of Chrome. And I don't know how that version of Chrome on that machine does it, but it doesn't do it on this one or the other computer. But if I go into the same site using an alternate besides Chrome, I can do exactly the same thing and I do not have any problems with it. So I've narrowed it down to a software problem. And that mystifies me because if I do a simple restart as opposed to hard shutdown, when the machine comes back up, it continues with the problem. So Chrome is doing something that is retained in the hardware. So anyway, the problem is solved. It's Chrome.
It's Chrome.
Um,
Do you have hardware acceleration turned on
yeah, that's what I was just looking up.
in Chrome in the on the machine that is the problem child with Chrome?
I would have to look. I don't recall.
Um, so I have had some weird stuff happen, and it turns out that hardware acceleration was causing the problem. Um, so I turned that off, and it's fine. Chrome runs a little bit slower or something. It's not a big deal.
When we get off of this conference, I will go down and check. But while I'm here, we were talking about the fire and I
Oh,
don't see that or not.
we can see it. It could be bigger, but we can see it.
Okay. Uh,
Is that one of the fire breaks?
no, that's one of the 2x6 studs,
Yeah.
and you can see the end of it just is gone.
Yeah. I have a question. Me and Patty have both needed new phones for the past year, and I have put it off and put it off and put it off, mainly because I don't want to pay new phone prices. Motorola has some 2024 phones on sale right now, and I'm debating about getting them, but 2024 would make them a year old at this point, which means they've
Two.
would yeah, they're already getting short on service life. Any any thoughts? Should I just bite the bullet and get a 2025 model? Or should I wait another 3 months and see if they put any of the 2025s on sale?
Well, this is just my approach, and that is if the price differential between a 2-year old phone and a current phone is such that the value of the current phone is going to be essentially zip in 2 years, buy the used one, buy the old one, and it consider it disposable. If it fails, replace it.
Well, uh-oh.
What
I don't
happened to
know what
Steve?
happened to Steve. The phone
Oh,
that
there he is.
the phones that I am looking at, um, the price difference is pretty significant. Same model phone, but like the Moto stylus, the Moto G stylus 2024 is on sale for $200 and the 2025 is $400. So it's quite a significant difference. The phone that I was looking at for Patty is a little bit better. It's only about 50 to $100 difference, but depending upon which one, because I'm looking at a couple of different phones for her. But I bought the this phone that I've got now is a 2022, and I bought it in 2023, mainly for the same reason. The price was for the 2023s was more than what I could choke down for a phone. But these haven't had updates for the year now, for the past year. And
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
No security updates, no nothing.
That surprises me because I've got a Motorola phone older than that, and it got a security update 2 months ago.
Hmm.
And
That,
I'm curious on your price because I'm looking at the Moto G Stylus 5G.
mm-hmm.
It's $200.
Is it the 2024 model?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, $200 for the 2024.
Okay.
The current model, the 2025, is $400.
Ah, how often do you actually use that stylus?
I use it more than what you would think. I actually write stuff down all the time. And that's what Patty said. Um, Patty's got a 2022 Moto G stylus, and she's never taken the stylus out of the thing. So it's definitely a wasted phone on for her. I mean, she doesn't need it. She she doesn't use it. So I was looking at a Moto G play no power
Ah,
for her.
250.
The one I saw was 109.
Oh, okay. I'm not seeing that.
That's the stylus. Oh, nope, I lied. I fibbed. It's the play that's 109. It's the Moto G Power is 150. That's the one I'm thinking that she would get the most use out of, mainly because of more power, because she is constantly talking on her phone. It's a nonstop thing.
Um, I talk on mine some, but me talking on the phone doesn't seem to really make the battery go down. Playing games on it does. Uh, but that said, normally at the end of the day, when I go to bed and I set it on the charger on the nightstand, it's depleted all the way down to like 78%.
Huh?
It's rare that I see it go under 70. And the only time that it ever went under 50 was because I didn't realize my charger was broken.
No. Well, here's the interesting thing. We went on like a little mini vacation, sort of, basically an overnight trip down and stayed in Kentucky. She took her charger. She charged her phone up. I didn't have my charger with me. My phone set at 78%. The only thing I can think that she did any different than me, her phone was down to 5%, 7% when she charged it up. And the only thing that I could think that she did any different was constantly talking to it, even to, I mean, talking to people on it, just
Yeah.
constant. Um,
A headset might help with that. No, seriously. I mean, either wired or a Bluetooth. A
okay.
Bluetooth will use a little bit more power, but if you make a call and you're holding the thing next to your head, the screen keeps turning on and off. And
Oh, yeah.
that's what uses power. If you're using Bluetooth, you put it in your pocket, it goes, wow, it's dark here, and it just turns off.
See, that's when I talk on the phone. If I actually have to talk on the phone, I usually put it on speaker and hold the phone, out in front
Hmm.
of me. So maybe that's a thought anyway.
But
Um, but like I said, she does not need a stylus because she doesn't use it. She's never taken the stylus out of um so either a Moto G Power or a Moto G Play probably would work well for her either way. And I think the Play had less memory. I think the Power has a little bit more memory to it.
Hmm.
So
Trying to think
that's
what I've got. I think it's an Edge. It's
I've
either a
always I,
Power or an Edge. I
I've
don't know.
always liked the G line. They
Hmm.
usually it's a good line of phone. So, but yeah,
Yeah, nice displays. They just kind of keep going. Wow. The 2025 Edge is 550. I ain't
yeah.
buying one of those.
It's almost like the tariffs came or something. But I don't think tariffs were supposed to affect the cell phone market. But well, I think I told you guys that she had dropped her phone in ketchup.
Oops.
So she definitely needs a new phone. I might be able to wait. She definitely needs a new phone. You could barely hear it. It even after I cleaned it out, I'm sure that there's still gunk in there somewhere. And ketchup is acidic. I'm sure it's eating its way through all kinds of neat stuff.
Yep.
How do you manage to drop a phone in ketchup?
Well, it's called blah 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 blah. Oh, right into the bowl of ketchup for the fries. I gotta call you back. I dropped my phone in ketchup. We
I
can't
mean,
hear you.
if I were replacing Marla's right now and I could get away without having to buy an Apple, I'd go for the Moto G Power. The 2025 is 250. That's cheap. I hmm, considering how much compute there is in that 7-ounce package, that is the cheapest computer you can buy. It is.
Yeah, it's not bad, and it does all kinds of stuff. Um,
Well, the
okay,
Apple option is going to be expensive.
I've almost got her convinced to quit eating of the apple.
almost.
There's a
My
good chance her next phone is going to be Android.
my the middle kid, she was using Android for a while, and all of a sudden she got this thing, and she went and bought an Apple, and I'm like, why did you buy an Apple? She loves the stupid thing, and I'm like, mm, okay. She turned right around. I mean, Apple hooked her good. She turned right around and bought all three of her kids iPads.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can actually get a pretty good deal on a year-old iPad. And if I'm looking at it, I can't tell what it is. So, I mean, if you're trying to impress me with how much you spent on an iPad, it's lost. But yeah, we bought one for a granddaughter, and I think it was about 350.
Yeah.
It's that was at Micro Center. And it might have been 2 years old at that point, but it came with a 3-year warranty, so whatever.
Yeah, that's not insanely horrible. Patty wanted Patty wanted a tablet at one point because she couldn't see the screen on the laptop. And then you gave us a decent laptop. that's got a bigger screen that she can see. And then I had bought her that $99 Samsung that I didn't know was a Samsung screen. I haven't heard anything about getting a tablet because I kept telling her, if I get you a tablet, it's going to be smaller than the laptop.
Yeah.
You're going to have the exact same problem, and I'm going to spend a fortune on a tablet.
I just bought a tablet. I think it was $50, brand new in the box with a crappy little Bluetooth keyboard that I think is worth $3 and a Bluetooth mouse that might be worth $1.50.
Right?
I mean, it was the cheapest thing I could find on eBay or on Amazon, I mean. And I got it because she wants a picture frame. I'm like, let's see what we can do because the nice ones are expensive.
Yeah.
But there's some software you can load on there and it can see Samba shares on your local network and NFS shares. And I got those.
Yeah.
Why would I pay for storage offsite? So I got this just to see if it's doable. And she's like, okay, but it's a 7-inch screen. It's a tiny little thing. So she wants a bigger one. I'm like, okay, that's fine, no problem. I wanted the 7-inch one to tie into Home Assistant. So it's a
I
win-win. I found
I
out that yeah, I can do what she wants and did it cheap and got a toy for me.
I am still using and you using is a stretch. I am still using my Asus Nexus 7 from 2013. It
Wow.
battery takes a charge, doesn't last very long, but it takes a charge, and I can play solitaire. I keep it off of Wi-Fi because as soon as I put it on Wi-Fi, the battery goes boink, dead. I could play solitaire on it, and I could play something else on it, and that's all I do on that tablet. Amazingly enough, it is still just as fast as it was in 2013. I mean, they actually made a good tablet.
Well, we were given an iPad probably a year and a half ago, and I I'm sorry, but I'm thoroughly unimpressed with Apple's operating system. We were going to do a very simple slide presentation for her brother's birthday, and we assembled the photographs and thought, this will be an easy task. And like an hour and a half later, we still weren't able to do anything with it. Um, Apparently, my brain doesn't function on the same wavelength or in the same nanospace as the operators of Apple. Uh,
I was told a very long time ago, I probably when I bought that Asus tablet in 2013, Apple is meant for people that just want to pull something out of the box and have it work. Android is meant for people that like hacking on their devices and changing things and seeing how all the settings work and do stuff. I think that at least at the time that was probably true. Android is a lot more flexible. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with it. But Ray's here.
Yep.
I don't see him. I don't hear him. But he's here. He's lurking.
well, you have to follow that up. You don't see him, you don't hear him, and you don't smell him.
Ah,
Well, if you don't smell him, that's good.
Are you out of town, Mr. Ray?
I actually am in my office.
Oh,
Surprise.
I am surprised. So,
So this is 2 weeks in a row you're in town.
I think it's been closer to 3 or maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. It's-
yeah, he's actually been in town quite a bit. He even showed up to actual real meetings.
Yep, it's over though. We're done. It's no more in town stuff. I think the only days I've been in town have been on Thursdays. And besides that, I've been running, 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 and I have got nothing done on my projects. It is so
Wonderful.
sad.
Mm. So I take it by that you don't want to start a new project.
I might throw this project aside and just screw it, do a different one. It's got so depressed on my fog machine is RF instead of infrared. And it's having trouble with my serial communications. And obviously my wife doesn't want to let me just stay up all night and leave me alone so I can play with my code. But no, doesn't work that way.
Poor Ray.
Yeah.
Uh,
On a good note or condolences note, congratulations or whatever. My wedding anniversary was a couple days ago. 25 years. Ooh.
nice.
Congratulations. Did you remember
Condolences,
it?
yeah. Whichever,
Yeah.
yeah, whichever's appropriate. Oh,
Think I'm going on 26 years. I gotta figure that out. If I don't figure that out, I'm going to be in trouble.
Carol and I got married a bit late. She was 31. 30. Yeah, 30 when we got married. And I was 26.
Yeah, she robbed the cradle.
A little, not much, just a little bit. Her, you guys will think this is funny. She was dating a guy before me, or at least I thought they were dating. They were actually engaged, and I didn't know it. I didn't even know she was dating anybody. But he was 12 years older than her. And so when she swung down, she swung 16 years. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that guy had a house, an airplane, 2 master's degrees in engineering, and I guess he had money. He spent it all on the airplane.
Either had money or owed a lot.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Well,
think airplanes are kind of like boats.
yeah.
Instead of a
Yeah.
hole in the water you throw money into, it's a hole in the sky you throw money into.
Yeah.
Well, I suspect that he'd need a larger airplane just for the baggage.
Oh.
Uh, well, I don't know. Did I tell you guys last week that that big Q 3D printer that was giving me such a hard time, I got it working?
Hmm.
Cool.
Turns out the limit switch um, on the x-axis was not shouldn't have been there, and the firmware was wrong. And the firmware,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, you were talking about that.
okay, yeah, the firmware has the same version number as the version that it came with, so I didn't think that it needed to be reloaded. Turns out they just didn't change the version number.
Yeah. There were 2 versions, they just didn't document that.
Yes,
Yeah, I
what
remember you
a
saying.
what a pain in
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but since Ray's here and whatever, Ray's already kind of said he doesn't want another project, but my
No,
my
I'm fine with doing a new project.
my project's over. I need another project. So, do we want to take on Christmas, Thanksgiving, or just robots?
Christmas,
Christmas,
robotic Christmas.
robotic Christmas. Um, all I can say is don't go crazy, Ray, because that got you into trouble for Halloween.
Yep.
That's all I can say.
I have to admit, I had plenty of time. I thought.
I don't know whether this is true or not, but I've been told I can't die until all of my projects are finished. And at the current rate, I'm going to live forever.
Yep.
That might be all right. Maybe. Uh, yeah, I was kind of leaning towards a Christmas project. My mom wants me to 3D print some mantelpieces for her and get them lit up and whatever. So I might actually do that as my project and not keep it because just be a present to my mom. She wants a Christmas village 3D printed.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Nothing simple.
Oh, she saw the pumpkins. She saw the pumpkin patch and said, "You think you can make me a Christmas village?" No.
That can be really elaborate.
Yeah. Well, I like Halloween projects and whatever, and usually my Christmas projects are nothing but a string of lights and somewhere either wrapped around a tree or thrown out the window or something. So my Christmas projects suffer greatly, but I like doing Halloween stuff. So
I just printed a Christmas ornament, a Newell teapot, the
Hmm.
Utah
Oh,
teapot,
cool.
the most famous teapot on the planet. It's been used as a CAD demo for like 35 years now.
Yep.
Cool.
And I got two cool things. I talked about these last meeting, I think. Shelly power meters. I have got to get a camera that's got a fixed lens on it. This is a Shelly power meter and a Shelly 1 PM. Come on, focus. And I am amazed at how tiny this thing is. I'm almost afraid to hook it up to 120 volts. But but this one, the red one, it's got line and neutral and then a output and a switched output. This thing records, or it doesn't record. It tracks voltage, current, power. Um, and you can switch a load on and off. It's rated for what, 8 amps, 2000 watts. So it works with anything from 110 to 240 volts AC. And the one that doesn't do any switching is rated for 16 amps. It's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and just should do some neat stuff. They tie into to uh, Home Assistant also. Been playing a lot with Home Assistant.
Cool. I played with Home Assistant a couple of months ago and found out that I think it only recognized like two things that were actually on my network, but none of my lights were compatible with it without doing some funky firmware switch. And there was no guarantee that the firmware changes for those lights would work because they've locked the firmware to be something else.
Uh,
So,
I guess that's a plus. We've got Hue lights and they're ancient. We've never updated anything on them. So those still work. Um, I was able to get a Zigbee receiver and can hear the sensors that were in the house for the burglar alarm. It had an ADT system, and they ripped the battery out of that, and it hadn't been active for quite a while. But all of the sensors have the little CR123 batteries in them, and I was playing with a Zigbee module, and I'm like, what was that? What just blipped across there? And it was when Marla had let the dog out.
hmm.
And it did it again when the dog came back in. I'm like, huh, let's see. And it didn't take too long. Was able to decode the signal. Each each sensor responds with a sensor number and whether it's changed to open or changed to closed. So yeah, it's better than no burglar alarm at all. I get a ping on my phone, which I silence at night, so oh well.
Well, I don't remember what I had. I just remember that what I wanted to use it for and what I had were two entirely different things, and Home Assistant wasn't going to be fun for me. It
Hmm.
it was it was going to be more of a pain in the butt, and I went, okay.
There have been a lot of updates. You may want to look into it.
Yeah. Well, the lights that I've got, if they're the correct version and have never been updated, perhaps they can be flash for the with the Home Assistant flash firmware, but currently that is not the case. And the app that I had downloaded to try and get it to force them to take the firmware didn't they didn't like that. So I'm thinking that they are probably the newer version that they've locked the firmware on, so you can't change it.
A surprising amount of stuff is now being sold as compatible with Home Assistant.
Yep, these weren't.
I yeah, I was looking at a whole house power meter. It's 16 current uh, loops that go on the inside your breaker box. Okay.
Ray's being weird. He
Are
just
these the
strung he,
ones?
he just strung up Christmas lights really fast.
Done.
Are those real or are those fake?
No, those are background for uh, Zoom video.
Can't you make them flash?
I wish. No, it's just if you go to your video,
Yeah.
um, and you can choose your virtual background, and you set a video filter, and then you um scroll down a little bit, you'll find some Christmas lights.
Okay.
I don't have that option.
Well, you've got the newest version of Zoom, right?
You
Supposedly.
should. Video settings, video and effects, virtual backgrounds.
Virtual back Under virtual backgrounds or right with it, it says video filters.
I do not see video filters.
Yeah. But with mine, I can change my glasses. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't have filters. I can't do halos and such, but I can blur the background or none.
Rays on Windows though.
Yeah.
I could adjust for low light, which doesn't really seem like it did much of anything.
There's the one. That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Kind of surprised it doesn't let you pick a GIF. An animated GIF would be awful.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm testing right side, left side. Right. Okay.
Ah, all right. You're oh, now you're Oko Ono or somebody.
Ringo Starr.
Ringo Starr. Eh, one of those. Uh Raisin VR. Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
Um
No. Okay.
in January, do we want to try to have a second meeting on the 15th? Because I've declared that the first is a time off day, and then what is it, the 8th, we would have a in person meeting. So that would really only leave virtual meetings after that. So do we want to try to have a short in person meeting on the 15th? Because I really need to book the room if that's what we're going to do. Oh,
Two would
no.
be nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it it looks like I can get the room until 6:30 on the 15th from 5 to 6:30. So it would be shorter. But that
Okay.
just means more dinner. All right, let me book it. Let me choose it. Let me book it. So Continue talking while I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing. Why didn't that work?
According to Carol, I'm going to be going to California. I will have 13 laser machines to repair and service, approximately 2 a day, only during weekdays. I think she's got some other customers for me for the weekends. So I will be in California for like 2 weeks, and that sucks. I'll go down there and stay with the homeless people.
Wait, what?
California, there's just so many homeless people there. It's crazy. So, like they're capital of the homeless people. The weather's always nice and no snow, a little bit of rain from time to time, but half of those guys, they carry around a tarp with them, I think. So, yeah. But I don't know when it's going to start, but I do believe I'm going down there. Um, Monday, I think I'm flying to Boston. Tomorrow, I'm going to Columbus for the day. I just got back from a customer in near Zanesville and near what's a prison that's up there north of Zanesville?
Starts with C. Chillicothe?
The one in no.
City north of Zanesville. Um,
Washington Courthouse? No, that's not.
No.
Lucasville? Those are the prisoners I know.
I'm sure there was a prison up there. Mansfield. Anyway, I went up there and was working at a place that they rebuild the avionics for aircraft, and I thought that was pretty cool. So they used my laser to, in some cases, cut out templates for placing, um, a new panel into the aircraft. And yep. Yeah, it's Ontario Mansfield. I thought there's a prison up there. There's prisons all over the place. Anyway, um, they use the laser to cut out a template, make sure it fits, um, lay out the holes that are appropriate for holding the new glass instruments. They reprogram all the instruments, make sure everything fits right. They'll place it in behind the joystick operator, whatever. And then once they feel comfortable that, hey, this is all going to fit, they'll take the template out and have somebody make an actual aluminum plate. And that has saved them a lot of money to do it that way, to use a laser for making a paper doll test piece. That's otherwise they've spent hours and hours making aluminum parts, aluminum panels that they couldn't use. And it's kind of depressing when you start making parts that you can't use, don't fit, and can't cram them into place correctly. But after the aluminum part is made, the panel, They have it. They send it out to
You
get
are?
powder
Yeah,
coated,
I am, and Greg's
bring
leaving.
it in, and laser engrave it.
Greg's getting ready to leave. He took his meeting here, so I don't know if he's going to sound.
I fixed it.
So what do they laser engrave?
So they take the large aluminum plate that is the actual panel that goes, all the instruments mount to that, but they'll send that out, get it powder coated. They bring it in, put the plate in the laser machine, and they engrave right above where the instruments go, and that creates this little recess and indentation for the lettering. And then they do a color fill, with a different paint, and when they're done, it's all perfectly smooth, but all the coloring is in there. They previously were trying to do like little plaques, little, this is elevation, this is this is that, and it just didn't work out for them because they felt like, hey, this stuff is going to peel off. And then they went to using different stickers, little printed stickers, and they thought, hey, that peels off. There's another type of printed sticker that it's lettering that's held in place by clear tape. They apply it and then they peel the tape off, and the lettering just sticks on. But that scrapes off, peels off, and the heat causes it to come off. They found out that the best look is to actually take the powder coated paint, laser engrave it, and then do a rub and buff color fill. And they've experimented with that idea with some other laser machines, just some friends had. They saw me do it on a video, and they were just like, "Yeah, we need Ray to come and set up our laser that we're buying from Rabbit." So I
How
got there. It was a lot of fun because those guys are already good technicians, educated, um, very familiar with Windows, typical CAD software. It was just like bam, 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 bam. Let's play with stuff. It was great.
And in 3 years, you may be able to sell them a laser that can cut the aluminum.
They were already talking about that. Yep.
well
But I
as
told them, said, for now,
as
you
you
send me a drawing, I'll cut it.
these methods of identifying those, I thought to myself, well, post-it notes are out.
Yeah.
Is that the altimeter or is that the fuel gauge?
I could just imagine somebody open the window, all the post-it notes come off. It was funny. I mean, those guys obviously they've been in airplanes plenty. Their hangar probably had 7 or 8 airplanes in it, and a couple of them that they hadn't taken apart yet, a couple of them that were pretty much done. But man, I walked up to one of the airplanes and it looked like it was gutted. I was like, "No, what did you do to this thing?" But it was neat. It was neat to see the airplanes after they were redone. So all the analog gauges were gone, and they had multiple instrument devices, and I was like, "That's just cool." It simplified the work and simplified the layout and everything. And they were talking about how reliability was very important. The data that they were getting from the gas tanks was a lot more accurate. Yeah, it was neat.
Now, are they replacing analog gauges with digital?
Yeah, they went from analog to all glass, all digital stuff.
Well, there's an advantage to being able to look at a number of displays, and if all of them are like this, everything's right. If 9 out of 10 are like that, one is like that, you know where to focus. But if you have
Oh,
to read the digits, that becomes more difficult.
They
just
can
because it's
put
digital and
analog
because it's
displays on them.
glass, that doesn't mean that all of it looks like just numbers. There are graphical representations, and these guys, they know their business. They know what people like to see. So yeah.
Steve, what did you say?
The same thing, basically. They do the same thing. They use analog appearing displays and they rotate them so that normal is up.
It's almost like a flight simulator. When you
Yeah.
look at the display, you'll see analog gauges that aren't analog gauges. Almost like that, only in real life, not a sim.
It was just funny that most car guys are out there. They're like, "Hey, we want to get pictures of airplanes," and the airplane guys are like, "We're doing laser engraved stuff of cars," because they're sick of the airplanes at that point. It's funny, but we did do some airplane samples. They, yeah,
That's up in Columbus.
well, it's right near the Mansfield,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's just a little airport there. That it's a relatively small company, maybe about a 15,000 square foot hangar, and they're getting into, or they've been in replacing instrumentation, but they're also starting to get into some other business. Detailing airplanes. You know how much it costs to get your airplane washed? Like washed and buffed and detailed?
About a car.
Yep. Yeah. There was a $800,000 airplane there that they just finished detailing it, and they detailed another one, both of them together. And I think they charged right at $11,000 for both airplanes. And they're doing like a 2-for-1 special for the guy. Yeah. But I guess when you've got an $800,000, spending $10,000 to get it cleaned and detailed and everything really nice for a corporate uh, flight, I guess that you want to impress somebody, not me.
There was I don't remember what the plane was, but it was an older plane. It landed up here at Springboro Airport, and it was the shiniest metal I have ever seen. And the guy landed because it had just started to sprinkle. It had just started to sprinkle, and he paid for somebody to pull their plane out of a hangar, and so he could stick that plane in the hangar because it was just sprinkling. And I was standing up there, and I was like, the guy, I it, I only need it for a couple hours. I'll give you $50,000. I'm like, what? I'm in the wrong business, aren't I? So
I was telling Jeff, my customer, that just a couple weeks ago, I saw, there's these entrepreneur feeds on Facebook, and it's like, here's a business doing this, here's a business doing that. And one of the businesses that they had suggested was washing airplanes. That like makes a lot of money and it's easy to do. Yeah, the outside, if you're just washing it, but then you're going to get into like degreasing and detailing compared to now I'm going to buff it and polish it and shine it. That's 3 different levels, man.
well, me and my dad were up there, and we were just like, we were floored because, of course, the airport said, well, we're going to have to get a hold of the owner of these planes to get them out of here. And he was like, I don't care what it costs, just do it.
Get me a space.
Just get me the space. And he was
Yeah.
throwing money around like crazy. But I suppose he probably spent a few $1,000 to get his plane polished to the point that it was polished. It was the shiniest plane I had ever seen. I suppose a little raindrop would ruin his day. We got to get it in there before it rains. We got to get it in there before it rains. Okay. Airplane people are nuts. No. Uh, so I booked well, they still have to tell me that we're approved, but we've never not been approved. But I booked the 15th for a slightly shorter meeting, but it's in person. So that means we can have a longer dinner.
I was just thinking here that if the guy with all the money in the airplane were investing that and making the airplane stay in the air and flying, I could understand the investment. But otherwise, if it doesn't involve the functionality of the craft, I'm not concerned.
You never know. He might have just got it painted or just got a ceramic coating on it or something. I don't know.
Just got it washed, waxed, and buffed.
Yeah.
But
Who
I wouldn't be
knows?
flying it if it was just recently painted. I mean, maybe
It
he was taking it somewhere to pick up somebody and didn't
it
want it to have, dirt, dust, and
I don't
water.
remember what kind of plane it was. It was definitely a show plane. It was not a flying plane, not just a, you know, every day go out and fly. It was definitely a show plane. He probably was going up to some air show somewhere, and it just had it buffed and painted and or not painted, waxed, buffed, polished, the whole 9 yards. Um, but yeah, it was kind of ridiculous because me and my dad, we both thought it was an expensive plane, but for somebody to want to throw that kind of money around, somebody's got some money somewhere, you know.
Yeah, they recently operated a ladder truck in Paris.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, there's a few paintings not showing up somewhere. Or the crown jewels, whatever. Yeah. Uh Crazy. But um have you made any progress on Jetsy, Mr. Steve?
I haven't played with it.
Okay.
I looked at it, went, "Oh, I can do that." Verified, "Yeah, I can do that," but then I stopped.
That's fine.
I just keep doing Zoom for right now.
Zoom works perfectly well. Getting everybody to change over to something else. That will be fun when it's time to happen.
At one point, I was playing with Mattermost as a server for meetings. That actually was working pretty well. Um, there was some kickbacks from some of the people, but nothing major. But I'll play with Jitsi more.
Yeah, I don't remember Mattermost. I don't know. It was just a question more than anything else. Um, And that's all I know. I don't know much else.
I got good news. Um, I've had my crew of workers over at the Journal building, and they are finishing up the roof.
Nice.
So
Good.
I know it doesn't mean a whole lot to everybody, but it means so much to me. I've been,
No,
yeah,
it's a good project. It should make a lot of difference to you.
it's I've been crying over this for the past 2 years. Uh, it is a huge project. So saving up the money and then paying for windows, saving up the money, selling stuff, paying for the roof. Um, so there were a lot of holes and leaks and such that were repaired, and new membrane material, new foam, new wood walking board on top of the foam. So it's been a big deal. Um, the last section of roof is it's kind of a secluded corner, and it's got a doorway like a normal, you know, 38 or 40 by 80 tall doors, just a normal door. And it goes from the third floor on top of the second floor. And when I looked at it, even the first day I saw it, I was like, man, this would make a nice patio. And so as we finish up this membrane roof on that section, instead of putting all the gravel back on top, we're just going to put on a wood deck. And so it's basically going to be a floating wooden deck that is mounted to two walls. So there's no concrete footers and stuff like that. It floats on top of the membrane. And it's a established technique that people do, but it's just really cool to have a patio on top of the building.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that all of it is um going to be dry on the inside. I don't know if you guys have ever heard me cry and complain and about the inside of the building getting wet again. It rained, and everything I got in the building is getting ruined. All my woodworking tools, my supplies. It makes me so just I don't know how to say it. Um, Depressed to see that I've got tools over there and they're getting ruined because of the rain coming down through the building. Um, the drywall gets ruined in one part of the building. The drop ceiling is totally, oh my God. Um, I spent a bunch of money getting new paint in one part of the building. I'm just glad that part of the building is kept up nicely. Um, so we got them started, and I thought that it was going to cost me, I hate to give you all guys some numbers, but I thought it was going to cost me about 18 to 25,000 for part of the building. And the more work they did, the more they found something was rotted, something else had holes, more problems here and there. And I was like, okay, well, while we're up here, go ahead and fix it. Well, the next section of roof wasn't really in this time schedule, but let's go ahead and do that. Next section wasn't in the time schedule, but you guys have the time available. Let's go ahead and do it all. Yeah, let's do the fourth section and go ahead and finish that. And while we're at it, you're gonna make me a deal and putting the deck in? Let's put the deck in. And oh gosh, it went from 18 to 30 to 38 to 40 to 65 to $78,000. Oh my God.
You would have spent that money in stages, but all at once, it
Oh,
does hurt the
my
pocket.
my left arm hurts. It's going numb. I just oh, I thought I sent a text message to my wife about I don't know if I should fake my death, have an actual heart attack, or just cry for a few days.
Well, if you have a very low wall around your patio, you can fall off of it and sue the roofers for not making it compliant.
Oh, we're already planning on the handrail, everything. Yeah. And then my roofers did not bother to get a permit from the city.
Oh, that's
So
nice
the
of them.
city's inspection group and the attorneys and all that crap are like, you need to come down here or we're going to give you a fine. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, the fine of a maximum of $100. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. $100, whatever. I'll be
Well,
okay.
Ray, you can also always tell them that you have the same building permit or demolition permit that they're utilizing on the east wing.
East Wing.
East Wing in the White House.
Uh,
Mhm.
so
They certainly have made a
I
mess of
thought
that.
everybody was going to get that.
I did.
Yep.
I guess I was the only one that didn't. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
Donald's
While
tearing
we're
down the
out,
East Wing to build a ballroom.
yeah,
He feels he needs more ballroom.
the White House is 55,000 square feet, and he's wanting to erect a 90,000 square foot ballroom.
Takes a
Who?
big set.
Who was doing this?
Donald Trump.
I'm
Your
from
president.
damn.
You didn't hear about this, Ray?
No.
I've seen pictures of the demolition going on.
Yeah. Monday, without running it by anybody, apparently, they brought in the construction equipment and started tearing down the east wing.
Oh my God. Really?
That's just the way
Oh,
Don
yeah,
rolls.
really?
That's just the way he rolls. Just do stuff.
They
Pay for
were
it for later.
yeah, right. There's lots of pictures online about it.
So,
I've been working too much, evidently.
Apparently, if you missed this, well, I was reading a little bit, and the guy that does the uh, overseeing of the work had the nerve to say, well, we only cover construction. We don't have any authority over demolition.
All right.
90,000 square feet is what the ballroom's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Wow.
roughly 180% of the White House.
Okay. Ah, yes.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right.
So I have to give quite a bit of construction has happened at some point in the past because that is some seriously reinforced concrete.
Uh,
And
Underneath that is where the presidential bunker was constructed during World War II.
okay.
Yeah, there's very little of the original White House left there. It's been refurbed numerous times.
Well, if you've ever seen the pictures of the conditions when Truman was in the White House and the piano fell through the floor of the residence into the ceiling of the, I think it was a green room. When they got into it, there was nothing left of the interior. The only thing original of the White House is the walls. But Truman didn't have a whole lot of choice in doing it because the piano would have ended up on the first floor.
That's the piano that his daughter played?
Yeah, until it started listing.
That's funny.
All right. Well, guys, I gotta go home. I got dinner. Dinner
Yeah.
calling.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Same here.
It has been
it's getting to
fun.
be 7. So yeah. We're virtual next week, as long as Halloween doesn't get in the way.
Okay.
But Halloween shouldn't be getting in the way. That should be on the 31st. So we should be fine. We should be good.
I am going to be having a Christmas party for friends and family, similar to what happened last year, and everybody's invited.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
I'll
Cool.
make sure I get some invites out to you guys.
Thank you.
very much. I
Thank
think it'll pass this year.
I guess that's it. We'll see everybody next week.
Good
See you.
night.
All right.
Good night.